Okay, that should be working. I'm going to solve this quadratic using the quadratic formula. I've taken this from MathSpace. Okay, now it should be evident that you can't factorize this easily to get AB equals 0. Right? Remember your null factor law. If you have something times something and it equals 0, either the first part or the second part or both have to equal 0 and we could solve it. And we can do that with quadratics when we can factorize them. Right? However, here not easily factorizable, because how am I going to do product and sum? What product gives me 1 and then the same two numbers give the 9x when you expand out. So this is perfect for quadratic formula. The other thing I want to say before I start is notice that the quadratic equals 0. That's when we use quadratic formula, when it equals 0. Right? We're solving for x values. We're going to get presumably two numbers, where if I put the numbers in where the x's are, the answer will equal 0. That's what a quadratic formula is doing for us. So just to remind you, x equals minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c, all divided by 2a. And we're using this on a quadratic of the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. However, in my quadratic, I have a equals 1. I've got b equaling minus 9. And I have my c equaling positive 1. Nice, easy numbers. Good. All right. So it's just a simple case of inserting those numbers into the formula. It's plug and play, right? X equals minus b. So that's minus 9, positive 9, plus or minus the square root of the b term squared, so that's minus 9 all squared, which will be 81. I think we can just write 81, right? You could write minus 9 in brackets all squared. I think you can handle that. Minus 4. Now, I always write out the 4ac bit in full in case I make a mistake here. Minus 4 times a times c. Sometimes you can make an error, so I don't try and do too much at once. Leave the minus 4, put in your a term, 1, put in your c term. In this case, it's easy. 1 and 1, right? Don't forget you have a 2a on the bottom. 2 times 1 is 2. Okay? So to tidy it up, x will equal 9 on 2 plus or minus the square root of 77. Right? Because I'm going to be left with 81 minus 4, that's 77. Now I think that question is finished. Right? That's all you need. Just be aware that is two different numbers. Right? I might write them as two numbers. When we have that plus minus square root, what we're saying is we have 4.5, 9 on 2, plus the square root of 77 on 2, or you can just communicate that with a comma, 9 on 2 minus the square root of 77 on 2. We found numbers that if we put them back into this quadratic, we will get the answer 0. So we found those x solutions. What we've also found is x-intercepts for if we were graphing, right? This is some quadratic. What's the square root of 77? Roughly 8 point something. So we found a quadratic that looks like this, right? If I was to graph it, and I've actually found those x-intercepts, right? So quadratic formula can come in handy if you're graphing as well. But the maths-based question just wants these values here. I think you would enter them in this way, but I'm sure you're capable of figuring that out when you guys have used MathSpace, you know how it works. I'm not sure if there's a plus minus button. I think there might be. Anyway, let me know if you have any issues.